So you've been on the road with U2 for a while, kind of living in that weird little bubble that seems to form around them whenever they go out on the road. How has that been? Get us inside this bubble.
And you want to go inside the bubble, right?
Without us having to betray confidences or get ourselves killed or in trouble.
Yeah, there is an awful lot of contract killings that go on around the U2 camp. I have to be careful what I say. The thing is that you're kind of embraced fairly readily, if you want to be. Mm-hmm. If you let yourself open to it, you're embraced pretty easily into the family sort of environment that they have. You're treated very well as a support band. You're not even treated like a support band, you're treated like a guest. And we've been treated like a support band in the past. And this is much more fun and confidence boosting to be treated like a guest. And their whole, all the way down, their whole operation is just full of people that are just very welcoming and very good at their jobs first and foremost. But just nice people. All the way down, management, their staff, general staff, their crew, the catering people. It's an amazing sort of tour to be on. It's inspiring, in terms of in the background, because it's the way every tour should be, really. And then, obviously, on stage, it's something else entirely. You learn more from watching a single U2 show, and I've seen 14 this year, than watching any other band.
What do you learn? This is a band that's been around long enough. I'm talking about Snow Patrol here. Been around long enough to have a greatest hits record.
It's not a greatest hits record. It's a history, because we haven't had any greatest hits really. We've had one. It's just to be clear, right from the start, we're not treating this like a greatest hits, because that would be foolish.
Okay. A summary till now.
Up until now. Up till now it's called, and that's exactly what it is. There's some new songs on there as well. So, anyway, we've been around a while, but you two have been around, and at the level that they're at for 18 years. They've been playing stadiums for a couple of decades, and you learn loads and loads. Stagecraft, musicianship, working the crowd. It's all up there if you want to.
Give me an example of one thing that you've learned in the last 14 shows that you're going to employ in your performances from here on in.
Gesundheit. For example, using the whole stage, which Bono does expertly, and obviously this 360 degrees stage gives him pretty much free rein to go anywhere, any part of the stadium, point himself at any part of the crowd, and that's what I've been doing as well. I don't copy his moves or anything, but Bono's movements on stage are almost sort of trademark now. They're kind of signature things. So it's not so much the actual movement I'm talking about. It's just playing to the whole room.
Yeah, the philosophy and the potential of the performance.
Yeah, I guess. And it's it's an incredible thing to make a stadium feel like a club show. That's what they do, and it's virtually impossible. It's a holy grail, and they've found it.
You put out a couple of weeks ago an open letter about what you saw at a show in Poland.
Yeah.
Briefly summarize that letter.
Well, basically, I wrote to the on the U2 website about a show in Katowice in Poland that just had something extra special in it. All the U2 shows that I've seen so far are special, but this one was off the charts, and I know that the band and all the people around them felt the same way, and it out of nowhere in New Year's Day, which is written about the Polish solidarity movement, inspired by anyway. So the crowd had all obviously, I don't know how, but they'd organised it themselves because the band hadn't organised it. But they'd all brought either a red, depending on whether they were standing on the floor or sitting, in the seats. They brought either red or white to make a gigantic Polish flag for the entirety of the whole of New Year's Day, and it just took all of our breaths away. And I had to put my hood up because I was crying so much, and because I didn't want anyone to see me. But then when I looked around, everyone else was in tears as well. The whole place was just, completely and utterly overwhelmed with emotion, and it was just one of those moments. And the gig itself, as a moment, as a gig, was something I don't think I've ever encountered in my life. I know I haven't, but I'm not the most observant person in the world, so maybe something like that has passed me by. But I can't imagine I wouldn't stare straight at it if it wasn't happening.
How about a Snow Patrol gig? You must have had some pretty transcendent moments. You guys have been around for a while.
I know, you keep saying that. I feel old.
Well, how many albums has it been? It's been 6 records, right?
5. This will be the 6th. It's not really a 6th, though, is it? But it's 5 and 2 reindeer section albums. So in 15 years, 7 albums is about average, I suppose, to a year. We've had some moments. V Festival there that we just played in Chelmsford, we deputised for Oasis. We got moved up the bill when Oasis pulled out, and we had the gig of our lives. It's just one of those amazing, deliriously happy accidents that sometimes happen. I mean, it could have went the other way. We could have got booed off the stage. We could have got bottled off the stage. But the crowd just embraced us and what was happening, and it felt like our show, and it felt like nothing I'd ever felt on stage before. So yeah, sometimes things like that happen in our shows as well, but not as readily as with you two.
What's the difference between a Snow Patrol gig in Europe and a Snow Patrol gig in North America? How do you view the audience? What do you feel coming back?
Well, it's hard to compare Snow Patrol shows outside of Ireland and Scotland and England, well, the UK and Ireland, let's say, with anywhere else really, because it's a lot of people. They're singing, they're jumping, they're screaming, their hands are in the air, they're singing with all their might. And it's just not happened like that yet in North America for us. It's the sort of size and scale and the sort of the maybe it's alcohol actually. Ireland and Scotland in particular, maybe the crowds are drunk and more susceptible to throwing themselves around a little. We have had some amazing shows in Canada and in the States, but it's hard to compare anything with Ireland really at the moment.